that he will be back in a couple of days to play the longer format in this tournament. Is he now a contender? I think he very much will be spoken in that kind of light over the next couple of days. We will get some words from James Wade throughout the course of the night with Mark Wilson when James has done all of his press duties post-victory. But after our first game of the night, it was Gian van Veen after the double Dutch game to open our proceedings in round number 2. And after a very good victory, I grabbed a word with Gian van Veen to see how he was feeling about making the quarters for the very first time.
When I was 3-2 up, obviously going into the second session, I was like, okay, just get 6-4 or 7-3 up and then it should be good. But being 7-2 up, missing darts for 8-2, and then he took it out, obviously, to go 7-3 to double 10. I was like, should have been 8-2 up, but, you know, I didn't think 8-2 was the correct scoreline in that game because there was no such difference between me and Danny today. So I think I felt lucky to be 7-3 up, but you know, then starts. I took my finishes, he didn't, and yeah, that's the game.
Not many people get a chance of getting close to a 9-darter on the World Matchplay stage. Tell us what it's like when you've got 141 left with 2,500 people behind you. It
was crazy, you know, even when you start off with a 180, you're like, okay, just get one more and then we'll see what happens. And then I hit the second 180 and then the 7th dart, you know, even and Kirk shouted, Gian, you require 141. I was like, the whole crowd got behind it. And the first dart I released it, didn't feel good, but it was in. I was like, okay, just two more, but it's only 50 minutes, nowhere near. But yeah, it's a special feeling, and hopefully we get 1 or 2 more in the next day.
The words of Gian van Veen, the first participant through to the quarterfinals, and he has subsequently been joined by James Wade, who we will meet in a couple of days' time. That will be live on the talkSPORT network. Watch out on talkSPORT 2, your home of darts on the radio, and of course on our talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel, which gives you all of the interviews backstage and indeed live watch-alongs. We hope you're liking that and subscribing at this point in time. The Lionesses currently going up against Italy at the Euros. We're going to stay here on talkSPORT 2 at the Winter Gardens and Matchplay. I'm joined by Abigail Davies for match number 3, as Italy do have a 1-0 lead against the Lionesses. It'll be interesting to see how that one transpires in the second half. Abby, that was a really good display from James Wade, and it did really confirm something that you were asking myself and Chris Mason earlier. You pondered the question of, can he back up what he did in the first round? I suppose he did.
He did so pretty emphatically, really, didn't he? That was exceptional from James Wade. He really is in top gear at the moment, the machine. Another ton-plus average, 65% checkout success. And so often with James Wade, we associate that timing, the way that he can cripple opponents with that. But it's all there at the moment for him. His scoring, his finishing, the timing of the 1-2-1, the 1-2-6, the 108 as well. There were some gigantic moments in there, and we saw from James Wade reactions like we've not even seen from him when he's hit a 9-darter in the past. And those two big reactions mid-match came when he went 7-4 and 8-4 up. He took out the 82 on the bull, followed that up with the 1-2-6, and in those two legs Wessel Nijman was left on tops and 85. Now Wessel Nijman in that match only had 7 darts at double in the entire contest. And that, I think, is one of those reasons we saw that emotion, that outpouring from Wade, because he knew how big a sucker punch those two moments were. Because Wessel Nijman, yes, it was a mid-90s average for him. He did a lot right. There was quite a lot to like about that performance, but he wasn't afforded many chances. And James Wade did James Wade things to ensure that those chances were very limited.
Can we congratulate both players on that game, because we had 16 darts at a double hit from 24 attempts. This is a second round match, and you don't see doubling like that from 2 players in the same game very often. But in this tournament we are seeing the kind of doubling numbers that we don't often see year in, year out. This is a special performance on the outer ring and the bullseye from all of the players.
It certainly is, and that match, at no point did it threaten to get scrappy. At any point, it was just beautiful to watch from start to finish. And at the moment, like you said, I asked the question at the start of the contest, or at the start of the night, can James Wade maintain that level? And I was looking at the averages posted by both, because Wessel Nijman in his opening game, he had a ton plus average as well. And I'll be honest, I was leaning more towards Wade having a similar performance, just because of what he'd done on the floor recently. You know, that Players' Championship triumph, he averaged over 99 across the games he won en route to victory in that. So I thought there was a chance. I thought Wessel Nijman would test him, and even though the scoreline doesn't suggest that he does, he was there or thereabouts. It was just the brilliance from James Wade that limited those opportunities. But we have had 2 fantastic matches so far this evening, and I think we can go as far as to say we're guaranteed 2 more, because the last match of the night, Jonny Clayton, an inspired ferret at the moment. He is playing almost back to his best, obviously the runner-up here in 2023. He's not always performed his best up on that match play stage, but the way he is performing now, we were both in Rosmarlen when he picked up that title, and boy, was he hard to stop.
That's Abigail Davies on talkSPORT 2, everybody, and that's her with her very neutral hat on. If she went full ferret on us, that would have been even more glowing than it was. Now, we can glow about the final 4 players as we have 2 games to go on night number 4, because De Decker is the World Grand Prix champion. He's going to be standing in the way of Jonny Clayton a little bit later on. But before that, we've got the small matter of Stephen Bunting, one of the form players of the year, against Gary Anderson, who is again one of the form players of the year. We saw an interesting equipment change from Gary in the previous round, using a larger point, and he wasn't necessarily happy with it, but he was able to figure it out when he was beating Luke Woodhouse by 10 legs to 5. Can he afford to have that insecurity tonight with the equipment against a Bunting who is playing almost to the peak of his powers?
Yeah, he is, but you still look, and it seems ludicrous, absurd almost, as Gary Anderson walks past us in our commentary position to make his way to the top of the walk-on. Yes, he had those question marks. You look at his numbers and you're like, well, how did he still manage to do that? It was still such a wonderful performance. It just feels like Gary Anderson, whatever he does, he can't get away from that ton average mark at the moment, because everything is going so well. I've actually tipped Gary Anderson to come out of this one on top.
It's an interesting one, I believe, where you get yourself a coin in your hand, you flick it in the air, and then you might predict how it will fall, but you just enjoy the coin falling to the ground. That's what we're going to do right here. Gary's going to walk first, and he's going to be introduced by John McDonald, the legendary MC of the Professional Darts Corporation.
Sky Sports from the incredible Winter Gardens, Blackpool. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet the players from Scotland, Scotland's World Cup winner, the winner of the Premier League, a World Matchplay champion. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the two-time back-to-back champion of the world, the Flying Scotsman, Gary Anderson.
Certain people in sport, you can tell who it is by just saying their first name. Cristiano, Gary, they go hand in hand when it comes to darts. There are other Garys in darts, but when you say the name Gary, everybody thinks Anderson. And he's now up against Stephen, the highest ranked Stephen in the world, and his name is Bunting.
The winner of 8 PDC titles, ladies and gentlemen, the former Masters champion and the winner of the Lakeside, time to meet the bullet, Stephen Bunting.
I'm not sure this walk-on for Bunting is going to be as long as James Wade's walk-on, which took nearly 2 minutes, timed by the people backstage. But Team Bunting are here in their droves, and not just his fans, but almost his entire family have turned up for round number 2. This is a massive match for Stephen Bunting in his quest to make the quarterfinals for only the second time in his career. Dart players will be. But interestingly, Abby, it's not just darts fans in the crowd tonight. We have Ryder Cup golfer Andy Sullivan in the building, who actually won a leg of darts on the stage earlier tonight, and he played very impressively. The man from Nuneaton in the Midlands. But this is all about England versus Scotland now. Bunting and Anderson have known each other for about a quarter of a century. They've been playing against each other since Bunting turned to the PDC in 2014. 21 meetings, 16-5 Anderson, who right now looks mean.
Yeah, there was one person in this building who took absolutely no pleasure from Titanium being played, and that was Gary Anderson, who is currently crouched down at the side of the stage talking to security. I'm not quite sure what the issue is, but I'm sure we'll find out as soon as we possibly can, as he looks to rectify whatever problem he has encountered. Not happy about something as he continues to look over at the security guards placed just to the left of the stage. Any ideas, Nico?
I'm just looking out of our commentary position right now to the important person area, and it might have something to do with the positioning of his family. We'll keep on top of this. Gary just being a little bit distracted at the start of this one, but our regular security, who are very well known to the players, they're on first name terms, which is a good thing. They're taking care of what Gary has brought up, but now it's down to the darts. Stephen Bunting has got the throw in the first leg, which means he will throw in the odd numbered legs in this contest. Anderson from Scotland, who usually has the crowd with him. It could be a little bit of a turn tonight because of that England-Scotland dynamic, and he is going to start with the longer points tonight, Abby.
Yeah, it is a mixed bag. I was up on stage prior to the action getting underway, doing a little warm-up with the crowd, and posed the question, 2 crowd favourites, who's everyone supporting? And at that point, it was just about in favour of Gary Anderson, but I think the Bunting mental army have turned up in full force now.
Yes, this is not your favourite antiques programme at lunchtime, but it is red versus blue. It'll be interesting to see who's got the most profit at the end of this one. Bunting 3-4-1, turns that into 2-4-1 with a steady ton. Trying to get his feet on the ground and into a nice little zone here. 85 called by referee for this match, George Noble, who is days away from retirement from the match play in his legendary career. Could be the first maximum here for Stephen. He'll settle for a 140 to leave himself on 101 after 12. Gary back on 238.
Well, given that one of my main predictions for this match was a heck of a lot of 180s, seems fitting that we're not going to get one in the opening leg, but 101 for Bunting to hold his throw at the start of this one.
Gary's got 98. Bunting couldn't get close to a double. Left 52. So Gary's on 98. He's got a top right corner treble 20, and he goes for the double 19. Disgusted with his effort, missing it slightly high, and then flings away dart 3 into the single 3 to leave double 8. But it might be too late. Bunting with the throw here has got 52. Single 20 found, but the double 16 missed, and then fires that third dart way over the top, hitting the single 16, leaving Anderson on a chance to break. Can he take it on double 8? Misses the first one, but the second one, just a little bit lower than the first, finds the mark, and that's a somewhat fortuitous breaking 17 darts to get us started on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, you mentioned him flinging that final dart in the last visit. He did actually have to have a little look over at the board to see what he'd actually left himself on. I think he'd have been quite pleased, actually.
Back in 1982, when Jockey Wilson was pronounced as world champion for the first time of 2 times, the legendary Sid Waddell said in Scotland, "There be Highland flinging." Well, imagine if Gary was to get a second match play this week, and that's encouraging, with those very long black points with a little bit of grip at the end, with those spring onion style barrels, blue stems, blue flights, starting to churn a little bit here. If Anderson ever has a perfect leg, it's usually early in games, like his 9-darter from 2018. He's got 2-3-0 here, Bunting way back on 3-8-4, and Gary's got a dart on the floor, but he just scored 80, and he's on 150 when he comes back.
Yeah, we've already seen 150 taken out this evening here at the Winter Gardens. Can Gary Anderson take care of it here? He's got time on his side, so doesn't need to go this, but he gets the first treble 20, can't get the second, so it's all about the setup, and that is pretty darn good. Leaves himself on 8-8.
Quizzical that he went for the second treble 20 on 150. I wonder what he would have done if he found the second one, because the last thing you want to do is leave yourself a small odd number. This is not an odd number. Anderson's on 16. He misses 8-8 on the inside. So 4-4 right in the middle. 2-0 to Gary, leaving Bunting in that second leg on 224. Now, we did see in our first game of the night 2-0 to Danny Noppert against Gian van Veen. This is where things really did change, but Bunting has come out cold here.
Yeah, incredibly cold. And that is not what you want against a firing, flying Scotsman, which is what we've got at the moment.
Earlier tonight, when Gary came into the building, he was fulfilling a bit of pre-game media, and even though Bunting gets his first max right there to leave himself on 262, Anderson had the bit between his teeth earlier because he didn't like the fact that he'd been misquoted a couple of days ago about talking about the younger generation. So when Gary's got the bit between his teeth, you know for a fact he's going to play well.
Yeah, I did catch him talking about that when he entered the building a little earlier on, and as you said, for those reasons, my thoughts were immediately with Stephen Bunting. But just a little reminder that on Bunting on 129, Anderson down to 106. Starts on the ball, Bunting.
That could have been just brilliant. That shot from Bunting took everybody by surprise. 129, he went bull, then he hit treble 13 and missed tops low. Anderson on 106 doesn't get the treble 18 on dart 2 after the single 20 start. So Bunting had the Winter Gardens silent with that Hollywood-style 129 effort. Now he's on double 10, misses it just a little bit left. He's going 2-4-4. The 2 is good, the double 4 is good as well. Second time that's been hit in this match already. One for both players. Anderson leads by 2-1 on talkSPORT 2 and retains the break of throw.
Yeah, that felt big even at this early stage, didn't it? Because Anderson has outscored Bunting for large spells early in this one. But just a reminder, over on talkSPORT, we do have commentary of England Lionesses taking on Italy. And it is currently Italy who lead the reigning champions by a 0-0. But here on talkSPORT 2, we are sticking with this glorious darting action as Gary Anderson's average continues to go up and up. He's around the 104 mark at the moment, and Bunting, well, he's struggling to go with him.
It might be 7 years on from his match play success, where he was involved in the best match play final ever against Mincer Sulevic. 40 legs. He averaged about 101 to 102, which is exactly what he's doing right now. He might be 7 years older, but he can maintain this level for a long time. 176 Anderson with a 2-1 lead in this match, early stages. Bunting there, one treble visit to lead 2-5-3. Anderson in control and should be leaving a double here. Doesn't, but 76 left after 12 is a solid effort, and he does have a chance to take a 3-1 advantage.
Yeah, Gary Anderson, of course, in his opening round, 67% checkout success, his highest ever finishing stats here at the match play. 2 from 5 at the moment. 3 from 6 now for Gary Anderson. Takes care of 76 on tops.
Fascinating stuff, isn't it, darts? Some people think that all you've got to do is the same thing over and over again, which I suppose is factual to a certain degree. But James Wade played the first game of the tournament, needed 3 different doubles to win a game that lasted 15 legs. He needed tops, he needed 10s, he needed 5s once. This game is 4 legs old, and Anderson's already needed 3 different doubles. He's needed tops, he's needed double 8 and double 4. He is 3-1 ahead, and Bunting is still trying to gain on Gary, and there's going to be a break after this leg. If Anderson's 4-1 up, he's going to be very, very cheerful.
Yeah, Bunting clinging on to the coattails of Gary Anderson at the moment. He's scoring just a little bit too tough to match, but he does find 2 treble 18s there, Stephen Bunting. 220 for the bullet. 223 for Gary Anderson.
Bunting really needs to get within 1 here. The last thing you want to do is give Gary room to breathe. Treble 20 start from Bunting. 220 could be crushed here to leave a double. He'll settle for the 140. That's his 3rd of the contest. Takes his average over 90, so he's coming back for 80 on his own throw. Anderson, 223, absolutely mashed with a 177. And if Bunting doesn't take the 80 out, Anderson will take the 46 for a 4-1 lead.
Huge moments. Single 20 from Bunting, having to shuffle across the oche. Oh, and it's a bounce out with dart number 2. He's not going to get a dart at double. Disastrous stuff.
Off his own flight, couldn't finish it. Gary's got 46 for a 4-1 lead. There's the 6. He misses tops miles low. The double 10 is missed left. He was probably a little bit distracted by what happened at Bunting in the previous turn, but Stephen is coming back for tops to have a very fortunate 3-2 deficit.
Well, it could go from disaster to delight. Chasing around double 5 now for Stephen Bunting. He misses it on the wire.
He didn't look like he was going to hit that. He didn't look like he was believing in it. They're both on double 5 now, but Anderson's got a shot. Double 5, he misses slightly high and right. Then slightly high, but a little bit further left, and then it goes further away. All 3 darts high of double 5 for Gary, and now Stephen has got that same double to somewhat miraculously just be 3-2 down at the break.
So much drama, and this time Stephen Bunting doesn't make a mistake. Somehow he emerges from that opening session just 3-2 behind. Gary Anderson will feel like there should be a lot of distance between these 2 players. There isn't, because he missed 5 darts at double to lead 4-1. It is Gary Anderson who leads at the first break by just 3 legs to 2. Drama and darting delight here at the Winter Gardens in Blackpool on night number 4 of this year's tournament. We currently have Stephen Bunting and Gary Anderson going head to head. It is one player in particular who has done all the running so far. Anderson with a much higher average. He looks so much better in these early stages. However, 5 missed darts at double in the last leg before the break presented Stephen Bunting with an unexpected opportunity to reduce the arrears. He took it eventually, and it means that coming back after 5 legs, Bunting trails by just 3 legs to 2. We still have another match to bring you at the conclusion of this one, and that should be a belter as well. So make sure you stick with us here on talkSPORT 2, because coming up after this, we have the ferret, Jonny Clayton, taking on the reigning Grand Prix champion in Mike De Decker. But Paul Nicholson, so much to still determine in this match before we get there.
Oh, absolutely. First game of the night, we saw Gian van Veen 3-2 up on Danny Noppert. This is 3-2 to Anderson, but 2 very different 3-2 scorelines. You've got one person who is ecstatic at 3-2 up in the first game of the night. Gary will not be happy that he's only 3-2 up. But I will say one thing. The first game he played in the tournament against Luke Woodhouse, the first 5 legs have been better tonight than they were a few nights ago. Bunting looking for his second max. Gets it, of course. If he starts warming up here, I can expect this game to be very close after 10 when we'll have a second break.
Yeah, we expected a lot of maximum hitting in this one. 3 so far. 2 go in the way of Stephen Bunting. It is Gary Anderson on throw in all of the even legs.
Which means he's leading off in the second session. And it will be Stephen who leads off in session 1 and session 3. I just wonder if that's going to be an interesting aspect in this one. Bunting's got 81. Not for long. He's got double 12. He's missed it underneath by 2 centimetres. Double 6.
69.
Missed on the right-hand side, but you could hear on talkSPORT 2 right there how close it was to the wire.
But Gary Anderson back on 190. Can't do anything to punish those misses, and he doesn't really make great inroads. Leaves himself on a tricky 1-3-1 if Bunting can't take care of the double 6. Comes inside, across and down to double 3. Manages to pin it. That is a very, very good dart from Stephen Bunting to break straight back, level up proceedings. And now he has the throw, just steadying himself.
This is what he's so good at. Whether he's leading 6-0 after 6 legs, trailing 6-0, or somewhere in between, his process before every leg has never been more solid. Any dart that hits double 3 at the first attempt is a world-class shot. I don't care if it's Stephen Bunting or Stephen from Fleetwood just down the road. It's a very hard double to hit because of what it is, where it is, and in the case of this tournament, how it is. First person to ever beat Stephen at the match play was Gary Anderson back in 2014. They met in 2018, the year that Gary won it, and they also met in 2021, the year that Peter Wright won it. But every time they meet here, Gary wins.
Bunting looking to change that narrative, to rewrite the story. He's got 2 in the treble 20 bed. Settles for another ton 40 visit. Gets him down to a finish, and now it is Bunting who's getting the first look at a finish in legs. Anderson back on 204. Bunting has 6 from 161 if he needs them, and he is going to. Drops low on the treble 20 bed with dart number 1.
64.
Interesting play there from Stephen. Last dart going to the bullseye. The 25 takes him into 2 dart range. Gary is not in 2 dart range with that ton there. Leaves himself on 104. Bunting will be looking to take his first lead in this game if he can take 97 now. That's a big 19. He goes for the treble 18, decides not to go for the double-double aspect. He leaves tops. Anderson can retake the lead with a break of throw here on 104. He's gone for 16s. He's got 3 of them. He's got 4 of them. Double top. Just a shade underneath. So Bunting breathes again, like Tony Braxton. And now he's looking to get a 4-3 lead on tops.
Just high of the target with dart number 1, further away with dart 2, overcompensates with dart number 3. And those last 2 darts were not very well thrown at double. Double 10 for Anderson, outside with dart 1. Can he work his way in? He absolutely can. And it stops, even though it was just 2 legs there for Stephen Bunting. Could so easily have been 3 on the spin. And what that would have done, Nico, is just magnify what happened in that final leg before the break, where Anderson missed those 5 darts at double. If you lose that leg, then lose the next 2 after the break, you really start focusing on those misses a little more.
Yes, absolutely. There's been a few different periods in this game so far. I think Anderson's going to be happy that he's in front, but as for his entire output, he will not be happy whatsoever, especially with that visit. 24 scored, all at the top of the board, and some of his darts leaning to the right-hand side, which is a symptom of the balance of the dart he's been wrestling with this entire event. Stephen has won in 4 different countries this year: Bahrain, Denmark, Germany, and England. He's had a fabulous season, and he's been inside the top 4 in the world for quite a while now. If he wants to stay there, he's going to have to go deep in this tournament.
Absolutely. He's not really making too many inroads on the Anderson throw here.
275 for Stephen against the darts here. Anderson's already on a finish of 164. Got to put the pressure on here, the man from Merseyside. Played for Merseyside County as a 16-year-old kid over 25 years ago. Been a top dart player ever since. 164 Anderson, not going to go for it, even by hitting the 60 with the first dart. It's a perfect layup. It's like he had 285 yards to the green. He said, keep the 3-wood, give me the 7-iron. I'm going to chip it on the green and get it in the hole whenever I choose. Double 12, 1 and 2 world titles. Does it win him leg 8? Dart number 3 will tell us. It does not. All high of the double 12, very close. But Bunting with a rescue act here, potentially looking for 125 for 4-4.
He gets the 25. Can't get the treble 20 to give him a dart at tops. So Anderson returns with 3 more in hand at double 12. High again with the first. Low with the second, across to double 6, which he manages to pin. Well, it is only a 20-dart hold of throw, but he manages to do just that, to put 2 legs between the 2 of them. It is Bunting who kicks off leg number 9.
If we're being fair, Abby, at this stage, it's not the game that we expected. It's maybe the kind of result we would expect after 8 legs. It's pretty tight, but averages of 85 for Gary and 85 for Bunting. This is not a can of varnish. This is not what we ordered. However, there's still plenty of time to go. We might not even be at the halfway point here. Gary, 4-4-6, comes down by 135 points. 2 treble 20s at the back end of that visit to get himself the solitary point ahead.
Well, I think we all hope, if this game is going to go long, that the standard definitely rises from this point. Both averaging below 90 at the moment. And Gary Anderson, from 67% checkout success in his opening match, missed 15 darts at the outer ring already in this one. Bunting on throw, 212. Minus these, finds a big treble, finds 2, ton 40. That means he's down to 72.
Yeah, both players bespectacled. Gary just removing his spectacles after his last visit, just rubbing his eyes a little bit. He's on 219. Bunting on 72, like Abby said. That's a small 20. He's looking for another one. A little bit higher, he gets it. Then returns to his original Oki position on the right-hand side for double 16, which he finds right at the bottom. I don't think he threw that very well, but it still went in. And sometimes that happens, and he'll be very pleased to be just 5-4 down at this stage. We did speculate that maybe it was going to be really close at the last break. If Bunting breaks right here, it will be locked at 5-5 before they take their last comfort break.
Yeah, it's been one of those games so far where you could tell me it was any scoreline and I'd really not be shocked, because it does feel like absolutely anything could have happened in this one. Stephen Bunting, 5-4 down, but there are only 2 legs of this match where he has not had a dart at double. It's been weird, it's been quite strange, this one. But Anderson looking to re-establish that 2-leg lead going in at the final break. 2.86 Anderson minus these, but he drifts way into the 1 segment with dart number 1. Rescues it with a big treble with the 3rd, but can't get down to a finish.
I think saying that first dart was drifting was a bit kind, Abby. I think
it was almost in the 18 segment.
It was a terrible dart, the worst dart he's thrown all game. It hasn't really hurt him, because he's on 205 here. Bunting is half a dart behind on 234. The rescue attempt from Gary is really good. And it just goes to show what world champion qualities can give you. The ability to recover within about 12 seconds. 65 for Anderson when he comes back. Bunting's done well to leave a finish here of 145, but it's a single 6 on 65 for Anderson. That's fortuitous. 59 left for 6-4 at the break. He goes for tops. And he's 2 millimeters too high. If Bunting hits this 145, this place will erupt, and he's taking his time.
This would be such a significant blow to Gary Anderson, who sat on tops. And Bunting, well, he makes a real hash of that attempt.
Why was he going treble 18 first on 145? I mean, who does that? Has he been hanging out with Rob Cross too much? That was really weird.
Yeah, and it did not pay off. Gary Anderson, double 10 required, double 10 is pinned. He is not a very happy chappy, but he still leads by 6 legs to 4. Things are not going well for either of these players at the second break, but it's Gary Anderson who should be a little happier as he carries his dart case off with him. He leads 6-4.
feel fairly fortunate that he's got this 2-leg buffer at 6 legs to 4. You just look at the head-to-head record between the two of these guys and how they've played against each other in this place and indeed over the last couple of years. Everything seems to be pointing towards Gary. So if Gary had played a little bit better, maybe Stephen would have played a little bit better in this game. But its attritional nature has been won so far by the Scotsman, and he's keeping the Bunting mental army quiet. But usually, if Stephen's in a bit of a sticky wicket, this is where he finds something else. In previous times, he would try his best, but maybe wouldn't have another gear. Mentally, he's more prepared to get back into a game like this than ever. The question is, will he now?
Yeah, and Gary Anderson, of course, at the last break, took his darts off with him. Does look like he's made some changes to the points that he's using.
Yeah, let's survey those points in his next visit when he's on 440. Bunting with a nice steady ton to leave 304. So incoming now, dart 1 for Anderson. The points are smaller in length. They have a little bit of ring grip towards the top. These are the original style darts that he was using when he went to this barrel shape. Obviously with a 6-4 lead in the last 16 of the World Matchplay, the longer, darker, newer points are not to his liking.
Yeah, I don't think there was a great deal to his liking across those first 2 mini sessions, but a lot more to like now. His second maximum of this contest gets him down to a finish first against the throw, 160. Bunting desperately trying to find a treble, isn't able to do so. He is down to 144, but Gary Anderson with the first shot at the 160, not going to go. Leaves himself on 60 points though, if Bunting can't take out this monstrous 144.
Could do. He's got 160. He went for the treble 16. That is fascinating. And he did have room in the 60 because he's just hit it with a third dart. So what was he doing? Anderson on 60 with Bunting on double 4. Gary's missed double top and double 10. He is livid with himself. What a great chance that was to go 3 legs ahead. And all of a sudden, it might just be one with Bunting on 4s. Misses it low. Goes down for Desmond. Double 2. And all of a sudden it's 6-5. The somewhat frustrating nature of this game, Abby, is continuing into its final session on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, it is, and I think there are a number of things that will frustrate and irk Gary Anderson with that last leg. Yes, he hit a maximum in it, missed those 2 darts at double, but he has allowed Stephen Bunting to hold in 17, and the way he's been playing of late, you just wouldn't be able to get away with that against him. But now he is finding that scoring a little more. That is one positive that he can cling on to here. Are we about to see a mid-match surge from the Flying Scotsman?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely got this in the locker. He's got purpose about his walk, about his focus. Every time he comes back from the board, he looks at his darts and just tries to refresh his feel by spinning them in his fingers. Great darts from Bunting. That is a 180 that you can only dream about. 3 darts glued together, and Anderson's not going to take 109 out. He starts with treble 1. 106 in 2 can't be done. So he has to go over to the 18s eventually, and only scores 41 in total, and 41 is what Bunting's got left to make it 6-6.
Double 16, misses outside with the first, has to move right across the hockey to try and force his way in. Unable to do so. 68 away. Gary Anderson from a 7-5 lead, gets the treble 20, double 4, misses outside and can't find it with dart 2. He is tamping, fuming, raging, Gary Anderson at the moment. Is this another leg where he's had darts and isn't going to take it. Bunting misses outside double 16 with his first 2. He's having to shuffle further and further across to try and find a way through. What a dart from Stephen Bunting. He didn't have much of the bed to aim at all. He had blocked most of the path through to the double 16 bed. Finds a way in the top corner. We have a level game. Gary Anderson in the last 2 legs has missed 4 darts at double. And just before we continue with this match, a reminder, England against Italy, the Lionesses, the reigning European champions, on the brink of being eliminated at the semi-final stage by Italy. They trail by a 1-0. Commentary on talkSPORT 1, but you're going to want to stick with us on talkSPORT 2 for this, because this is getting exciting.
I'm not sure what was longer, a Rory Delap throw in or that dart that Bunting used to win leg 12. Incredibly accurate to get that double 16 with what can only be described as a wall in the way. The doubles have not been good by either player in this game. It is 6-all on talkSPORT 2. Bunting on 3-1-8 the oche now. Big 20 followed by a small one. Has to go across the oche to his left again. This time he's not accurate. Doesn't get a kiss off the first barrel either. 2-5-8 for him. Anderson needs to put his foot down to get back into this leg. That 140 will do. Officials on the stage tonight. Mark Walker on the right-hand side. George Noble, your referee. Charlie Gardner on the left-hand side. His dad has played on this stage back in the early 90s. Bunting's dad was an official back in the 90s. Stephen has left himself well placed in this 13th leg, but Anderson 2-4-8. Can he get a shot if Bunting misses this 1-1-8? Gary back on 1-9-1, and he might not be back. Bunting might be in front. Tops 1-1-8. He's got the number. And Stephen Bunting is using up lives tonight, but he is 7-6 in front, and Gary was closed out in leg 13.
Where is this coming from? Stephen Bunting. He is turning this game on its head. And are the England Lionesses about to turn their game on its head, because they look down and out in their semi-final fixture against Italy? In added time, the 96th minute, they have found an equaliser, and it is Ajimang again, the super sub. She has been spectacular, and she has prodded home to level proceedings. Full commentary on talkSPORT 1 with Joe Shannon and Tash Dowie, but you're going to want to stay here because Bunting is threatening to go Bunting mental on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, 2-2-5 for Stephen, the number 4 seed. Anderson, the number 13 seed, leaves himself on 170. Can Stephen leave a better finish than that of Gary? 2 single 20s, he has to move. He goes to the 25 and gets it to leave the slightly easier 160. Anderson, first start too high on the 170 try. Everybody here in Blackpool still waiting for that big fish finish. And only 41 from Gary. He slips up, and Bunting may be looking at a 2-leg cushion. 160 coming in. First dart is just like Gary's from the previous visit. Just a little bit low. He's traversing the oche here a lot, Abby, going left and right.
Yeah, he manages to find a big treble to leave himself on a single to double if he returns. He may not. Treble 19 found from Gary Anderson. Now looks upstairs. Goes double 18. Needs another. He finds... Oh.
The audience thought it was in.
Oh, I thought it was in.
It wasn't in. And all of a sudden, Gary's left on 36, and Bunting is on 60 to take an 8-6 lead. Gary is just trying to quieten the crowd down. Now, last dart in hand. Bunting misses it even further to the north of tops, and Gary now needs double 18 just the once to make it 7-7. Misses it low, well low. Double 9's missed inside, and he can't use the third dart of the visit to kill the leg off. My word, they call Stephen Bunting the bullet. The only thing he's doing right now is dodging them.
It's all the drama, Mick. I love it. Misses low, but he finds double 10. Gary Anderson had his opportunities for a level game, but it is Stephen Bunting who now leads by 8 legs to 6. Gary Anderson shakes his head at the back of the oche because in the last 4 legs he has missed darts in 3 of them, and Bunting has kicked off with a maximum.
They were most definitely in. The crowd thought it was a 180 and so did the referee, and it was called as well. Bunting has got 9 darters. He would love one in Blackpool. He's got 5. Make that 6. He's never beaten Gary Anderson at the match play. He's got 4 9-darters in his PDC career. If he were to find 141 right now, this really would be the best perfect leg of his career. Next one, in. Treble 19, in. Double 12 for Stephen Bunting, and he misses double 12, just like Andrew Gilding did just a couple of days ago. It was about a centimetre underneath, and even Gary Anderson thought that leg was going to be lost. It isn't yet.
Agonising miss for Stephen Bunting. And it really would have come from absolutely nowhere in this match. But now, double 6. Just take care of the leg. Comes inside. And comes inside on double 3. Anderson way back on 279, but how many times do we see a player miss the double for a 9 and go on to lose the leg?
Double 3 again. He's missed double 6 on the inside. Double 3 to the rescue this time. He's hit it in the top left corner. You don't care where you hit it as long as you get it. 9-6 Bunting, and he has now won 5 straight legs against Gary Anderson, who is now 6 from 28 on the doubles. We've seen a clinic on the doubles earlier tonight between Van Veen and Noppert. And of course, Wade against Nijman, who were off the scale. This is the slight other end of the scale. We have seen hits, but far too many misses.
Yeah, we've not really seen too many matches like this across the match play so far. We have been blessed with some real clinics. But Stephen Bunting now just threatening to turn the screw a little bit.
96.
Stephen, who used to work in a dart shop when his career hadn't taken flight yet, processing orders in St Helens, and that was about 15 years ago. Oh, how things can change. Now he's one of the best players in the world, both in people's minds and in the PDC World Rankings. Bunting's on 167. Anderson's left 76 at 9-6 down. Is it about to be 10-6 and 1 away? 167 is not going to be found. Small 19 to start, but he's going to persevere downstairs. He gets a treble 19 for his efforts on dart 2, which means he'll go over to the 17s here. Small 17 for his trouble, so he's poised in case Anderson misses another shot. 76 here.
Finds the 16 for tops, but drags it low, and he is getting more and more infuriated, Gary Anderson. Looks livid with himself as Stephen Bunting finds treble 14. One more dart at double 16. And he made it trickle with the angle of entry with dart number 1.
Double 10 for Gary at 9-6 down. He's missed it wide left. The double 5 is a good one. But if you look at the face of Gary right now, he doesn't cut a happy figure. He's 9-7 behind. In order to keep Bunting very honest now, he can afford to lose 1 leg of the next 4. Back against the wall. And Gary really, interestingly right there, Abby, just changing his facial expression as if to say, right, now we switch on. If we don't do that now, we are going back to Burnham-on-Sea.
Yeah, I'm imagining that was after a stern word from his family, because prior to that, as Bunting piles in his 8th maximum of this contest, just prior to that snarly glare on Gary's face, he looked over to his friends and family and just shrugged his shoulders as if to say, I just can't find it. So I'm going to assume there was some words spoken to him there where he was told to just switch on and try and find something, dig deep.
Has to on 303 here. Only gets 5 19s when he wanted 7 or more. Leaves 208 Gary. Bunting on 124 for a 10-7 lead, small 20. Goes over for the 18s and gets 3. He's going for the bullseye. Why was he going for the bullseye? Gary's all the way back on 208. Trying to please his fans and please himself, obviously, but hitting the 25 wasn't banking leg 17. But he has got 25 now to be within 1 leg of the quarterfinals for only the 2nd time.
Gets the single 9, double 8. Comes inside, up for double 4. And he manages to pin that. He is now a leg away from the quarterfinals, Stephen Bunting. He has managed to turn this game around.
Gary Anderson has been at this stage of the World Matchplay 2 times in the last 4 years. 2021 he lost to Nathan Aspinall 11-9. He lost to Daryl Gurney 2 years ago 11 legs to 4 in a brilliant match. He has not been to the quarterfinals in this tournament since he last made the final in 2020, which was the only one never held at the Winter Gardens. It was held in Milton Keynes where he lost to a certain Dimitri Vandenberg. Bunting made the quarterfinals back in 2019. Is it going to be 2025? He's getting closer. He's 10-7 up. But Anderson's got the impetus here in leg number 18.
Anderson is not giving up without a fight. It will not shock you to learn. Yes, he's on throw.
59.
First down to a finish, but again, another treble-less visit. So it's not as low as he'd have liked. 1-2-8 when he returns. Bunting runs for cover, finds 2 huge treble 19s to leave himself on 1-6-7 if the 1-2-8 isn't to go.
Fascinating from Gary with Bunting on a match-winning shot. Gary decided on 1-2-8 not to start on 18s. He's done all he can. He scored 96 to leave 32. But this is Stephen's first opportunity to be into the quarterfinals. 1-6-7. Central treble 19 found. No treble 20 off the back of it. So he may have to wait for at least 1 more leg.
Yeah, that would have been for a 12-dart break as well, but instead it's a 13-dart hold of throw for Gary Anderson. Needs to find a leg similar to that against the darts here.
Stephen has been to the last 16 3 times before. On debut he lost to Anderson in 2014 at this stage by 13 legs to 8. In 2019 he won 14-12 against Ian White in extra legs. He might need extra legs the way that Gary's starting to switch on. In 2024 Bunting lost to Humphries 11-7. Is this going to be Bunting going through, or are we going to have more drama here on night number 4? Anderson started with a maximum. He'd love another. He might get another. Dart 4's in, but then he takes the 1 off. He wanted a little bit more, but 118 total is a really good backup score.
This is good stuff from Gary Anderson. What a fight he is putting up. Stephen Bunting, desperate for a treble, comes up dry. And against the darts, it is advantage Gary Anderson. Albeit a small one, and finds another big treble to leave himself on 106 after 9, looking to back up that 13-dart hold of throw in the last leg and break. This could still get very, very tense indeed. It's another treble-less visit, meaning that Gary Anderson has 6 from 106 if he needs it, but it's tops for a 106. Didn't really threaten.
On the bright side, Gary will return for tops. Stephen on 190 at a 10-8 scoreline for him right now. He can still win this game by 11 legs to 8 or 11 legs to 9, but he's in a 180 to lead double 5. That's rather hilarious. Anderson doesn't think so, but he hits tops immediately. 10 legs to 9. Gary's got the darts. If he holds, we're into an extra leg situation. We knew there was going to be drama tonight as we started round 2 on talkSPORT 2. The question is now, does Gary hold or does Bunting break and win?
Well, it's George Noble refereeing. Just give Gary the leg now and take us all the way to sudden death. But on a serious note, back-to-back 13 dart legs from Gary Anderson when his back was against the wall. But this isn't the way he needed to start this leg.
Yeah, that was a bad dart from Gary. Came out late. Looked like it hurt his shoulder as well. Leaves 369, Bunting 401. Sensing an opportunity. Old school darts from Stephen. Starts with 100, backs it up with 100. Anderson needs 2 trebles. Down to the cover and gets his second treble. 137 leaves 232. He's a dart ahead.
This is compelling viewing. You may look at the numbers.
Even Gary was smiling at the prospect of this game going extra legs. He wants it to go that far. Bunting doesn't get a 3rd consecutive ton. Has to settle for 60. Advantage Gary again in leg 20.
Your face after seeing Gary Anderson smile was a picture. I've never seen someone so stunned as Anderson brings the bull into play. Down to 143 after 12. What an effort this has been. Yeah. You may look at the numbers and think, well, it was nothing that spectacular, but boy, oh boy, has this been compelling viewing. Bunting on 101.
Now, Gary, he's not going to take 143, but he's going to take it down to 50. 93 scored. Match point, Stephen Bunting. He says, come on to himself. A little bit of positive self-talk. 101. Small 20 leaves 81. He gets treble 19. Match start at double 12. And for the second time in the last 10 minutes, he misses double 12. He missed it for a 9. He's missed it for the match. Gary's got 50 to take us to extra legs. And that is exactly where we go. Over to you, George Noble.
The match must now be 1.2 clear legs, so the leg scoring 13 legs all. The 27th leg will be sudden death. 21st leg, Stephen to throw first.
Well, Gary Anderson looks like he may have a little niggle, a little shoulder injury. He's doing a few rolls before throwing.
A little bit of adrenaline will help.
Yes.
And there's buckets upon buckets of adrenaline on that stage right now, amongst a few nerves. You've got to be involved in this situation to realise what this is like. This is torturous, but fun at the same time. It's 10-10 at the match play on talkSPORT 2 between Bunting and Anderson. This one could go all the way to 13-13 with a decider after that. Got to win by 2 clear legs. If you don't want that, there could be plenty left in this one. Game 3 of the night. Clayton, Dedeka to come afterwards.
A match that has been littered with errors throughout. It has reached a stage where any error now is magnified.
If Bunting does not win this game, there is a Winter Gardens curse against Gary. He's looking to beat him for the first time in 4 attempts. Gary, 3-4-1, maximum. Number 7 for him. Stephen's got 9. He could use one here. He might just get one. 287 brought down, almost cut in half. 147 for Stephen. 161 Anderson looking to break to make it 11 legs to 10. He's not going to get it. Has to go to the 19s for cover. Only gets 2 singles. 103 left. Bunting, who has the darts, 147 left.
Starts downstairs, gets the treble 19, gets the treble 18, but cannot find the double to finish the equation.
This equation is 103, but what route does he need? Single 19 leaves 84. Dart 2 is not good enough. It's just short of the 60. And then he goes for the treble 14 and gets that. Not really sure why. He leaves double 11. Bunting's on double 18 for 11-10. And he gets it with the first attempt. So he will have a chance to win this game by 12 legs to 10. If he can break Gary, he will be through to the quarters. And he could send the Flying Scotsman home.
I'm not sure about many things right now, so I'm certainly not going to try and figure out the mind of a darts player. My goodness, has this been gripping.
And it wasn't at the start.
No.
It was terrible. It was a bad game.
You wanted to look away at the start.
They've turned a bowl of water into a lobster bisque. That's the genius of darts, everybody. You can turn water into genius. 404 Bunting. He's a visit and a bit behind. Anderson's on 275. Listen to the Winter Gardens. It has gone cold. They want a culmination. They're going to get it sooner or later.
And it came from nowhere, really. Bunting missing double 12 for a 9-darter. Feels like it happened a week ago. So much has unfolded in this one since.
Yeah.
Gary Anderson down to 182 after 9. Bunting 211.
Yeah, more unfolding in this game than an origami festival. Great 1-3-4 from Anderson. 2 treble 19s to leave 48. A shot he must hit. Bunting on 211, looking to pressurise. Starts on the 19s, ends with 4 20s to leave himself on 112. There's the single 8 for Anderson on the 48 effort. He misses top slow. He misses double 10 to the right. Stephen Bunting does not have a ton plus checkout in this game. If he finds 112, he will win this match by 12 legs to 10. His first start could be paramount. It finds the 60 in the heart. The next start is the 12. Second match start at tops. 1 ton plus checkout in the entire game. And Stephen Bunting finds it in leg number 22. We went to extra legs. And the killer blow from the man from St Helens is found. And the Gary Anderson curse at the Winter Garden is crushed. Bunting wins by 12 legs to 10.
Absolutely unbelievable. When he needed to find it, Stephen Bunting, when his back was against the wall and Gary Anderson had thrown absolutely everything at him with 2 back-to-back 13 darters, helping to send us all the way into extra time in this one. Stephen Bunting finds the only 3-figure out in the entire contest. The stats, nothing to write home about really, but that doesn't paint the picture at all. It went from a torrid affair to one of the most gripping and absorbing contests that you will see on the Winter Garden stage. It is Stephen Bunting who joins Gian van Veen and James Wade in the quarterfinals of this year's match play. There is one more spot there up for grabs this evening, and either Jonny the Ferret Clayton, the 5th seed, or Mike de Decker, the Grand Prix champion, will take it.
Okay, mate.